Okay.
How are you?
Oh, good. Very good.
Nice to see you.
uh, yeah, the Korea is almost recovered from COVID situation.
Yes, yes, I know. How are you? I'm very excited to see you.
Yeah,
It's a long time. I think last summer you was in Toronto. You were in
yeah.
Toronto. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. How is everything?
Yeah, still busy
Yeah.
and many things to do because of a lockdown in many countries in Europe, even in the United States.
Hmm.
So, so our business dropped down a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, we have nothing to do until release from lockdown. So we try to help our dentists in the world how to protect ourselves from COVID. So
Okay.
we made many videos to share the experience in Korea.
Hmm.
Mm.
Great. Okay. Dr. Park, it's very nice to see you here. It's no need to introduce you. Everybody knows you very well, but as a routine, let me introduce you first and then we start talking.
Okay.
Dr. Kwambon Park graduated the Kwangpuk National University School of Dentistry in 1985 in Korea. He finished training at the Department of Periodontics in 1988 and he worked at the same dental school as a teaching faculty until 1993. He started a private institute named as Perioline to teach the clinical periodontics and implant dentistry to the other private practitioners. In 2000, he went to UCLA Department of Periodontics to study further as a visiting researcher. After returning from the United States, he and his colleagues started one of the biggest private dental hospital called Mir Dental Hospital in 2002. I will talk about it later.
Okay.
Yes, Mir Hospital. He also established an implant manufacturing company named as Megagen. We will talk about it again. Oh, absolutely. At the same time, and try to make new concepts on the implant design under the concept of less invasive but more efficient implant system. At present, he's serving as the president of Mir Dental Hospital, Daegu, and co-CEO of Megagen Company. Also, he's working as a director of the Minek Education Center. He's an international member of AAP, an active member of AO, and honored doctor of Japanese Society of Gnathology and Occlusion. Welcome, Dr. Park, Professor Park. Very nice. It's a delight for me. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you. And thank you so much for accepting my invitation. We are live on Zoom, on Facebook, and Instagram.
Thank
Okay.
you for the invitation. Thank you.
Okay. So, Dr. Park, uh, Implant Diary. Okay. We are uh, live on Facebook of Implant Diary Group. Yes.
Mhm. Mm.
Okay. Dr. Park, in this situation, in this sadness situation with so many sorrow, I think after China, the South Korea was the second country that affected so much with so many new cases. But the system controlled it very well. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How come? Because so many new cases at the South Korea, but they control it very good. Yes.
Yes, fortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And when COVID-19 started in China in this January, actually it was not considered seriously among Korean people. We just got news from TV.
Mm-hmm.
But 1 month later, from middle of February, it 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 landed in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
especially in my town Daegu. More than half of the impacted people uh, came from Daegu City. So it was like a disaster.
Yeah.
And Korean, actually, Korean citizens have a different mentality, yes, frankly speaking. And in those almost in February, from middle of February until almost end of March, nobody went out. Even the city government didn't push us to not to go outside. So just recommended not to make meeting, not to have a party, just to stay home. And everybody, yes, followed the rule. And our medical staffs did a great job, and as a volunteer. And even the doctors and nurses from other cities came to Daegu to help us. And because of the sacrifice of medical staffs and the voluntary actions from citizens, so we could minimize the impacted number. The total number so far is about 11,000, around 11,000 only. And the death number of death is approaching about 300.
Yes.
No, less than 300. So nowadays, the new patients, number of new patients is about 10.
Now.
Some weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, one infected guys had a dance party at the club in Seoul, and he infected more than 100. So in those period, we worried about another event of COVID-19, but now it came down.
Yes.
Yeah, but yes, everybody worry about it. And this is almost endless fighting. Even COVID-19 disappear, we expect something new may come in the end of this year. So we are preparing new normal, even in the new cases. Yeah. So especially in dentistry. Yeah.
So you started working and you opened the Muir Hospital, yes?
Yes, we didn't close, but actually the patients were very worried about infection, so they didn't show up.
Yes.
So at the beginning, we had about only 10% of patients. It was good, and we could do more protective procedures for our staffs and for the patients. So slow treatments and more accurate and more distances between patients.
Yes. Okay. I saw that you prepared made a very nice protocol in a clip, in a video clips, and I watched it. It was very good. May you tell about this protocol you made?
Yes. At the beginning, so I made a video for our staffs and our employees in the company, mainly. And I gave advices to wear mask and the facial shield, even in the company.
Oh, for the team.
For the team, even.
Yeah, oh, that's very good.
And we closed our canteen and provided the lunch box. And yes, everybody had lunch at their desk. And then when I showed this video, many doctors were interested. So I added more and more and more. And then I made 4 or 5 videos so far. And some dentists from abroad wanted to know which device, which BPM, which pH, which price.
Yes.
Yesterday I finished to make the final video with all the information, and it's quite long. It's about more than 20 minutes, but it has almost all the informations. So,
wait, did you release it or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Today or tomorrow we will start to release on the Facebook, on the YouTube, so you can see. So my major interest with this video is to make your own video. with the guidance of this video. This is time to go back to work, right?
Mhm.
So you need to convince your clients, your patients,
Mhm.
your space is really safe environment.
Mhm.
So my intention is to make your own video with the guidance of this video. That would be very good.
Great. That is great. So before we start our talking, I want to introduce you more to our participants because I'm talking with the participant now. Dr. Park is not only a very good surgeon, so smart, and invented an amazing implant brand and very nice and well-equipped hospital. I think 7 or 8 floors. Yes, dental hospital. It's 7 or
11.
how many?
11.
11. Oh my God, that's fantastic. And also, the most interesting thing in Dr. Park's character is humble, genuine humility. You started your book, we will talk about it later. You started with very nice quotes from different people, but I think the most important one, you should write it for yourself. That is, the more you are laden with fruit, the more you bend to the ground.
Thank you.
You are so humble and amazing surgeon. Thank you so much. I'm very, it's my delight to be with you.
Yes,
Dr. Park.
because I love dentistry. It's not intended. Actually, my personal character was inherited from my parents. My father passed away almost 35 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and then my mother has a very good character. They taught me to be generous to other people, to do your best, something like this. They're just not for dentistry. As a human being, as you have to share what you have. So there was a teaching from my parents, and many mentors.
Obvious. It's so obvious. Okay. In your book, Dr. Park, you mentioned that you started this book. It's I'm a Dentist. You wanted to inspire young dentists or young people who like to start dentistry, but maybe because every time we talk about dentistry, the image comes with dentistry is about pain, suffer, or panic, something like that. Even when you see or watch a movie, if they want to interrogate or torture someone, they use the dental stuff. But this is not dentistry. There are a very good part of it, and it's art, that aesthetic, and very nice vision. There is a very good part in dentistry. You want to talk about that in your book, yes, to inspire the young people.
Yes, I became 60 years old this year, and already 60. I'm surprised. And then it's been 35 years already when I become a dentist. Then, not only as a private practitioner, I had many experiences as a businessman. And when I look back my life, I had many mistakes, actually, and socially and personally. So I regret. If I knew something more at that time, so I could do. I thought I could do much better. That's why I wrote some things, some mistakes in my life.
Yes, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is mainly is my personal life story in dentistry, but I think young guys. If young guys can read this book and they can reduce their possible mistake. And also I wrote some some pages for the normal people, not dental professionals. So don't afraid the dentistry. As a dentist, I wrote some pages with the massive development in dentistry.
Yes.
Nowadays, dentistry is not only for the treatments of pain.
Yeah, exactly.
So we make it humane. Make a good smile, make you happier, and make you we shape you at much more higher level of human.
Yes,
That's my intention of this book.
especially with digital workflow now, it's so much
Yes.
easier and better. Yes.
Mm.
Dr. Park, then at the first time I saw the Mir Hospital, I was shocked. It was huge and well equipped, and every floor's dedicated to any part. It was like a university, maybe better than that, and well equipped. And I think that this is not routine in many countries. It's how you decided to start this dental hospital. How was your idea about that?
Yes, when I dismissed from the university, and I made when I made my the first private practice, and as I tried to make the best place, more comfortable for the patients, more professional, especially in my major, perio and the implants. But I felt some limitations. Not only, even I do my best on my field, and the patient need more professional treatments like endodontics and orthodontics and other specialties. So I thought I need cooperation, interdisciplinary treatments with other specialties. And then I tried to make not only treatments, the environment is important to make our patients comfortable. So not only the focusing on the treatment. So space should be quite big, and I had to have many different specialties, and even the dental hygienists and the dental lab technicians. That's why I had to make a big space.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And also a gallery. I saw a gallery at the top.
Yes.
The art gallery. Yeah.
Yes. It works. We had a new exhibition last week, and it's really nice. That is not only for our patients, to our dental staffs, and we can relax with by looking the good pictures and listening good music. Then we can do treatment much better.
Yeah.
That time in 2002, actually, the university hospitals can offer good quality of treatments. Of course, there were some nice private practitioners, but the treatment level was limited. So in 2002, with my, I said, stupid idea, crazy ideas, and we finally could make this big organization, the biggest private hospital in Korea at the time. Then everybody, there are two different groups. So the first group said, wow, this is really monumental hospital as a private sector.
Yes.
But some guys, especially from university side, blamed me. How you can dare to make this big hospital just next door of university hospital? And but they trained a lot. But we focused on the very special, high quality treatments, reasonable, affordable cost, and very good mood. So as you know, the university hospital is good in quality, but not good in service. Right?
Yes, I know.
Private sector is very good in service, but it's limited quality of service. So I try to combine these two into one. That was the mirror start.
Yes, it works. It worked very well, and I'm sure it works also. It's fascinating. And you invented a very unique design of implant system named AnyReach. when somebody invents something, uh, maybe it's because he or she saw a problem in as a routine things that, for example, for implant system, maybe you saw something wrong with them and you decided to change it or develop it. Yeah, am I right? What was
Right.
the problem in the conventional implants that you decided to change it or design another thing?
Mm-hmm.
What was your idea about that?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. This is very important story in my life. From 1992, I started my lecture with a big group of Korean dentists.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I was one of the youngest lecturer in the group. And our main implant system at that time was from United States and some from Europe. But whenever at the beginning, just we delivered, their advices. So I tried to follow their guide, and I made some clinical case and showed it to my Korean attendants. So this is what they say, and I couldn't make the same result with their advice, with their guidance. But with the repeated lecture, I found that something is wrong. They are lying. And I had some miserable case, especially the Koreans eat very hard food compared to other countries. It's like a dried squid. It's like a stone, but the people like it to eat. So a lot of very heavy occlusal force in combination with strong lateral movement. So many implants broken, fractured. Not only abutment level and the screw level and the fixture level fractures. And even I made a bridge with 2 implants or 3 implants. I had some cases of fractures. So also this is really embarrassing. In 2002, in 1998, we had the economic crisis in Korea. So it was many business bankrupted at that time, and even the dentistry. So no dentist wants to spend money for lecture to attend the courses. So I had to stop my own course. But instead, I could be able to think about implant design. But our group agreed with me as if we can have a chance to make new implants, and let's try to make it. But as a dentist, we had some idea, but we don't know how to make it because we are not engineers. So in 2000, when I was in the United States, and the 2 Korean guys came to me, 2 engineers came to me, and he said, if I have the same dream still, and they can help us. So in 2002, when I come back to Korea, so I said to my juniors and my colleagues, okay, this is time to make our own implant systems. Please, with your pocket money. So that was the start. The first company, at the beginning, we had only 7 people, including me. It was very small, very tiny, very limited number of machines, but it was very exciting. And at the beginning, actually, it was very difficult to resist our implant system. So we tried to copy major implant systems because this is easy to prove.
It was the Easy Plus or another one? The first
XPL.
Like ITI.
Yeah, 3i and XPL internal copied the Stroman systems, but a bit modifications, of course. And then we made something new with big diameter, which was named Rescue, and
Yeah.
very skinny implants, intermezzo, and added more and more. And but it was too many. It was too many, and there's so many doctors.
Yes.
When they try to use only one or two systems from our company, they liked it very much. But when I introduced all the lines of implant systems, they was shocked. Okay, should I buy all of these surgical and the components?
Yeah.
And in 2009,
Yes.
we had a problem in the company. So at that time, the bank, there was something bad event. So Megagen became almost bankrupted. But during this period, and our team could have time to think about the new systems.
Yeah.
So it's from end of 2008 to end of 2009. For this almost 1 year period, our R&D guys and I tried to make to combine all the important features from each system of us. So we draw some pictures from Rescue. We take some advantage from skin implants. So and finally the Enrich implant system came to as products. But at the beginning, this current design is not the first version of the Enrich. So we modified. At the beginning, it looks like very stupid, but if we put all the important characteristics from the articles and from our experience, but it looks very idiot. When I showed this implant to my friends, they said, "Can we place this implant in the human body?" They said to me, and then but we every corner of this Enrich system had hundreds of articles. We made this because of these articles. We made this part from that articles. And we modified with the experience, and finally we could make this design of implants.
So, do you have a slide of that? Do you have some slide?
Not the whole history, but I can show why we made these parts.
Okay, let me make you host to share your screen.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are host now. So you can share your screen.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
It's okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I tried to summarize my ideas on the implant design and practice, but it's a bit long. I have about 100 slides, but I would try to talk as fast as possible.
Yes, thank you.
So when we study implant systems, new implant systems, we only think about the implants. But in my ideas, we always need to consider the patient side and the practice side. So what is the most important? So the ultimate goal, this is important, right? So why we place implants is to make prosthetics, crowns, with the full function and the aesthetics. And how we make it, how we approach this goal, it should be minimally invasive and minimal period of time, right?
Yeah.
So many doctors just focus on the result, the full function, and the aesthetic is a result. Not so many people focus on how we can minimize the invasiveness and the treatment time. So the process. So this is my focus. As a result, most of the implant system, I believe, most of the implant system can provide very good results nowadays. But the process, this is for dentists. Okay, if we can reduce the patient visit into half, our chair time can be reduced and our revenue can increase. So that's my focus. So what we need to consider in implant dentistry, there are three different parts.
Yes.
The first goal is, of course, prosthetics, crown and occlusions. And how we can make it? Through the surgeries, implant placement and bone regeneration. And for the long-term prognosis, we need to have good connections and we need to consider transgingival tissue. These three parts is a major interest with implant treatments. Of course, I have nothing to say, crown and occlusions. This is our lab technician and our prosthontist work. But as you see, our goal should be like this. It's a very natural and a very healthy shape of the crown. And the occlusal contact is another issue. There are so many theories on the occlusion on the implant prosthetics, but I believe it should be same, exactly same with the natural tooth. Even the movement is a bit different. When I made this kind of contacts, the patients felt comfortable, much more comfortable, and the prognosis, especially for neighboring natural teeth, were much better. So this is just a short story of my occlusion. And then on the surgery, there are two parts. The most important part is position of the implants. So without accurate and adequate positioning of the implants, the result cannot be good. We have many important numbers for the biology as with the position of the implants.
Yes.
And as a process, what is the most important? There are many important things, but in my experience, initial stability is the key to minimize to maximize the invasiveness of surgery and the treatment time. So with the higher initial stability, we can do one-time surgery in much more cases, and it can be minimally invasive. So this slide was made more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At that time, many doctors use the external hex implants, but external hex implant has, as you know, a wider the biological width.
Yes.
So we couldn't place this external implant into deep positions. But with the internal connection, we can minimize the biological width. So nowadays, people place implants a little bit deeper. Now still, this 3 millimeter from the marginal gingiva is the golden rule still. And this number is becoming 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter nowadays. From the occlusal view, we have one more number, which is 2 millimeter. So this is to provide spaces for the bone regeneration. Okay, but actually, even we put the bone graft following placing these implants to the palatal side. This contour, the labial contour, is very difficult to maintain. Still, this is another headache. And nowadays, I'm really focusing to develop the material and treatment concepts to maintain the complete shape of alveolus. So
for emergence profile.
Yes, emergence profile and the contour of labial gingiva. If we can maintain the alveolus without the resorption, it will be much better to maintain aesthetics. And even in my idea at this moment, so we don't need to place implants into the palatal side.
Yes.
Why do we place implant to the palatal side is to provide this space, right?
Yes.
So I'm trying new concept and with new material, but it's really nice so far. And when I have a 3 years result, I will try to show you.
Great.
Exciting.
When you release it?
I started almost 1 year before. I have a 1 year result. It's quite good. but something should be modified, and
Okay.
I need to make some new numbers
Mhm.
that people understand easily.
Great.
3 millimeter from the marginal gingiva and 2 millimeter from the labial gingiva. This is still golden rule for adequate implant placement.
Mhm.
This is not only anterior. For anteriors, even in the posterior, biology is same. So
Uh-huh.
the proper position, okay, everybody knows this, right? It should be in the middle of the future crown, and it has in the middle of the crown, buccolingually, major-distally, and the angulation is almost same.
Great. May I ask something?
Yeah,
I,
please.
sorry to stop you. This is kind of a one-time abutment, something like that.
Is this one?
Is it like an abutment to
No,
attach?
this is external hex implants. So this is implant mount to deliver the fixture into the bone.
Okay. Okay.
It's older system.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh. So
yes,
I
now
thought that this is the new design for emergence profile. So it's not that. Okay.
no, it's this slide was made quite a long time ago.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But the concept is same.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays I heard many speakers recommend external hex implants instead of internal hex implants because of sinking down phenomenon and some the tearing of the implant pictures. But it's still in discussion. So how we can make the implant position more precise? So just with our brain guided and with the hand instruments, it's not easy to deliver our concept, our planning to the patients.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main reason to use digital techniques. Right? But even in digital, we need to consider biology. So digital technology gave us the opportunity to see the unseen before.
Mm-hmm.
So many, I believe, all the implantologists are very familiar with this X-ray image, and even the X-ray machine provide this kind of a software, so we can see the crosscut and the horizontal view to see where will be the future crown, where will be the ideal position of the implants.
Yes.
This was not enough in our experience. We recommended to do immediate implant placement and immediate loading to many doctors, but there was some mistake because we couldn't see the quality of implants from this black and white image of X-rays.
Mm-hmm.
So we developed the colorful colored version of X-rays, named as a digital eye. So when you compare these two images, so from black and white image, you cannot say this is a hard one or this is a soft one. But with the one clicks on the button, you can change your image into this colorful image.
Uh-huh.
The black is air, which means zero density, and the red is blue is like a soft tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the yellow or green is the hardest.
Yeah.
So in this case, you can see the inside of the internal quality of alveolar bone is quite soft. Okay? So in this case, we cannot do immediate loading. So sometimes we need to submerge.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make a more precise planning during the implant surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And one more very exciting function of the digital technology is sterilization. So the digital technology on the view side, on the imaging side, was to see to see the unseens. But nowadays we can draw a sterile file from DICOM.
Yes.
This is revolutionary. So by using these sterilization techniques, we can provide a surgical guide and even temporary crown.
Mm-hmm.
This sterilization function was made by Megagen.
Yeah.
As first time. As really, it was 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but at the time there were many imaging companies, but no company provided this function. And then it was very difficult to make patent on this, so everybody copied us. So with the sterilization function, so we could make a surgical stent and the temporary crown before surgery. Before surgery.
Yes.
So it was very, very nice.
Yes.
And not only the ideal positioning of the implants. So after placing implants through the surgical guide, we could connect the temporary prosthetics. Of course, the prosthetic procedure takes more time than the surgical time.
Yes.
But from that night, these patients could enjoy the dinner with the new.
One time. Yes.
Really, yes, really fantastic.
And also with this system, we can place implant and the heads of the implant exactly where we want to be. The timing of implants.
Yes.
In horizontally and vertical position.
Yes, and that is also the first technique we made from the Megagen. So I'm not sure you can see the window of the surgical guide. The window position is the hex position.
Yes.
So even at the single case, you can make a very precise position of the hex, and you can deliver the hex, the prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
But we designed everything mainly from CBCT, which is DICOM file. But DICOM file is not accurate still. Mm-hmm. It has about a 200 micron discrepancy. So single is fine, but if you have multiple implants, the errors can be accumulated. Mm-hmm. So far, we can just only provide the temporary. We recommend the temporary only.
Yes.
I believe the CBCT technology will improve very soon. Mm-hmm. So when the accuracy comes to less than 50 micron errors, actually we can make a final restoration with the CBCT data. I believe. I'm waiting the period. So to do this kind of immediate loading, so implant design, which can provide excellent initial stability, is essential. It's very important.
Yes.
This is the end of the case 4 months later, and this is X-rays. We did immediate loading, but as you see, the level of crestal alveolar bone was perfect. I do many cases like this. Mm-hmm. And okay, so let me go a little bit basic. So what is the biological design of implants? What is the biology on the implant design? Mm-hmm. See, there are 5 different parts. So many people just think 3 parts: picture, connection, surface. But we have to separate core and the thread. Core is important for the long-term withstand of occlusal force, but thread is immediately important during surgery for stability and the more surface areas. So we have separated this concept. And then this part is really important for the maintenance of crestal bone and the gingival aesthetics. Mm-hmm. So with the article from the founder of 3i Implants.
Arno?
No, 3i Implant.
Oh, 3i.
Yeah, it was 19, and he made an articles with platform switching and the direct, really natural shaped crowns. Mm-hmm. It was in my memory, it was 1993. So at that time, the importance of platform switching was recognized. But platform switching was not enough in my experience. We had to have one more platform switching on the picture level. That's why I cut off the first thread from the top. Mm-hmm. This part, the platform, the offsets on the picture is really important to provide at least 1 millimeter more bone compared to other implant systems. 1 millimeter more bone is really good to maintain the shape of the alveolar bone.
Okay.
And then, okay, I'm talking too much.
No, it's fantastic. It's like a natural bone platform switching for the implant.
Yes,
The
exactly.
double platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how much effort do we do to make 1 millimeter bone? So by using this platform switching at the bone level, we don't need to do that. So there's another part of shortening treatment time. Connections, I don't need to emphasize. Everybody knows. Why connection is important? Not only to make prosthetics. This is really important for biological waste. Right? So we could be able to make we should be able to make the minimal biological waste, and of course, no screw loosening. And the surface treatment is important to fasten the osteointegration.
Exactly.
So the biggest feature of Enrich implant system is knife thread. There are many different kind of thread design, but we have 100 of tests. But we found the knife thread is the most beneficial, especially on the initial stability and bone implant context. And so this is one of the initial trials. As I mentioned, we had a very heavy, fatty implant system named as the Rescue long time ago. And then we just made a different shape and a different thread depths with different thread design. Then the initial stability went up 7-8 times more.
Yeah.
So even at the loose bone, we could make very good initial stability with this special thread design. And I had some ideas how we can manage soft bone. So actually, soft bone is one of the biggest obstacle for the implant placement. So I made the same core diameter with a different thread depths.
Yes.
Why? So before any reach, even me, I placed the same diameter implants according to the possible available height and width of the alveolar bone.
Yes.
And I made the osteotomy socket like this, and just I placed implants. Even I felt very loose bone, I had nothing to do. I could do some osteotomy techniques, but it didn't work well. So as a consequence, the initial stability was very different from hard bone to loose bone. And Dr. Brandmark and his group also recommended to wait a bit long. At the maxillary arch, we had to wait 6 months. At the hard bone, 3 months. That was recommended, made almost 50 years ago.
Yeah.
With the development of surface technology, this period shortened, but still we are keeping these rules in our mind. How we can change? So we can feel the bone density with the initial drill, right? Initial drill, when we do lens drill or the first 2 millimeter diameter drill, we can immediately feel the density. Then we can think what kind of a thread depth we can use. At the hard bone, D1, D2, even D3, actually we don't need to use the deep threaded implants. Just normal thread. One step deep in the thread is good enough. But at the hard, very loose bone, D4, D5, D6 bone, how we can manage? So we can use deep threaded implants to increase the stability and to increase the bone implant context. Then we don't need to wait that much long.
Yeah.
This is a good example made in 2010, 10 years ago. So from the X-ray, you can see the second molar area has much less bone quality compared to the premolar area. So it was exactly the same with my drilling, with my peeling and the drilling. And I made the same osteotomy socket and then placed a different, I chose different thread depths. Core is the same, but thread is different. Then I could do one-stage approach.
Yes.
Normally, I did the two-stage approach by burying the implants under the gun and waited 6 months. But in this case, as you see, I could connect healing abutments immediately because I got good initial stability.
Yes.
Then this is a panoramic X-rays, and how long we have to wait? Even in the soft bone. At that time, 10 years ago, my goal was to make a same unloading period like mandibular implants.
Mhm.
And then one more concerns of on the immediate implant, immediate loading
Mhm.
is from this can be get from this graph. This graph is very well known, and the red one is primary stability by mechanical interlocking, and the second one, the blue one, is secondary stability by oscillations. And we have a transition period, so everybody knows this. We will have the least stabilization at the third and the fourth week because of this. To make sure the immediate loading will can be successful, we have to be able to keep the stability,
Yes.
even on the increasing pattern, right? So if we have a drop down of ISQ, which means stability after implant placement, immediate loading can be dangerous. So why we have this drop down and the reduce of ISQ value is from the shape of the thread. When we use this traditional shape of the thread, during implant placement, the surface push the bone quite aggressively. So we feel this compression as a stability. As a consequence, we had a small amount of necrosis around the implant surface. That's why we have a drop down of implants, and by oscillation is going on. But this knife thread showed a totally different phenomenon. So it's very thin, so it doesn't push the bone. It just cut. So, and we have many very minimally minimal compressive force. So ISQ was not dropped down. So by adapting this knife thread, there are two advantages. We could have very good stability at the beginning, and ISQ didn't show drop down. So
surface will be more.
Yes, it's really important for the immediate implant placement and also for the immediate loading. This is case from my colleague a long time ago, and he placed the 8 implants like this. Sorry. So definitely the last 2 implants were placed into very loose bone, the type 4. And then he measured ISQ value every week until 9th week. So you can see no drop down with these implants. And he could finish final restoration in 9 weeks. 9 weeks means 2 months only. 2 months. And this is another case of mine. So I placed the implants at lower arch first and made the temporary crown. And then on the upper, as you see, there were quite a big difference on the size of the arch. Anyway, we could make a plan on the arch gate, and everything is prepared. Surgical guide. And the positioning of the surgical guide. This step is very important. If you make mistake on the position of the surgical guide, everything, all the implants will be shifted. Yes. And then I placed implants as okay. Here you can see the hex position of the
exactly.
By matching the window of the surgical tent with the green line, then you have exact hex line. Then this is after implant placement, and I connected this all of these zirconia abutments were hexed, so we can minimize the rotation or the mislocation. Then the temporary crown was delivered immediately, except to 2 last implants, because as you know, the last implant has too much occlusal force, and this is not recommended. So 8 implants was enough. So this is immediate after surgery. So you can see the bone quality 2 weeks later. the gingiva was not completely healed, but the patient has no discomfort. So same with the previous case. In 9 weeks, I could finish all the process. It's like this.
Right.
So the prosthetics looks not complete, perfect, but much better than before.
Yes, exactly.
So, but the important point is I analyzed the case with the AutoGate and made the planning and made the surgical guide and the temporary customized abutment was made before surgery. And temporary crown, PMMA temporary crown, and delivered immediate after placement, and the patients start to chew immediately after surgery, and checking 2 or 3 times the occlusion and the shape. Then, with the final impressions, I could deliver the final restoration in 9 weeks. This is really faster and upper arch. This is our implant treatments nowadays.
Great. That's fascinating.
It's good. And no dangerous, because we know everything before treatments. We know the shape, we have a guide, we have temporary, and very well looking temporary, and occlusion even. So it's really, really, really good.
Yes. You have the patient virtually in your office before surgery. You can assess every aspect of the patient's sagittally, cross-sectionally, occlusally, everything.
Right.
Especially with that STL5.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it took quite a long time, and the patient had to visit 2 or 3 times minimum to analyze everything to get all the data. But we developed a new CBCT named as R2 Studio. So with the R2 Studio and the DOD sub program, which is similar with the DST, and then we can analyze occlusion, ideal occlusion with the skeleton of the patients, and VD as well. So it's very easy to make a plannings. What is the most difficult in the full mouth case? Is without any guided vertical line, vertical height and occlusion. So we have to have. We did from our experience. We just moved the patient jaw to relax the patient muscle, but it was just from experience. But we made through the R2 Studio, you can make a skeletal oriented ideal vertical dimension and occlusion lines. It's just very helpful. And for the aesthetics, you can make the smile line, ideal smile line with the DOD. So it's really nice. If you have a chance, just to look at the R2 Studio.
Yes, yes, I saw it. I think in Vancouver, I saw it in Megagen booths. Sean, yes, our studio and Ray Studio, yes.
Ray Studio, we are cooperating with the Ray company.
Yeah.
And still, the machine is quite expensive because of too many, abilities and very big sensor.
Yes, yes.
But we are going to launch new device with affordable price and advanced functions at hopefully at IDS next year in Germany.
Yes. So and the very interesting thing was digital impression. It was very nice.
Yes. It can reduce the time for ourselves and our steps and our lab technicians, and it can be merged with the CBCT image that I confirm automatically. This is another exciting point.
Great. The show must go on.
Yes.
Okay.
Exciting.
Thank you so much. So the slide.
I'm very exciting. not for the business side. Okay, I'm very exciting to make this kind of environment for dentists.
This is your passion. I know that. You're so much passionate about this. Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you. The slide is over, Doctor.
I have a little bit more.
Okay. You're listening.
Okay, see, as I'd like to say,
No, we
this,
have time for that.
really?
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and even I had several hundred cases of ISQ maintenance. So actually, whenever I have I have a chance to show my cases to European and American dentists, they had big doubts on that. So I went to UCLA to my professor at the perio department and was asked to make the clinical test on the patient. So, so this article was made in the United States at the university and on human, so very high length. Right? And the theme was very simple, just to compare this thread on death thread. And the doctors at the perio department placed the two different implants side by side, just like this, on the mandible, because they worried about some mistake when they placed into the upper arch. So on the mandible, it's not easy to define the advantage, but actually, okay, let's try on the mandible first. And they observed the ISQ for 8 weeks. Okay, this is the result. Even on the mandible, the conventional thread showed the decrease on ISQ until 4th week. This is average, and then made the plateau. But the knife threaded implants showed no decrease, even at one patient, always showed increasing pattern of ISQ. So this was proved by UCLA. And one more attempt with this implant, implant, was to make the universal protocol on the loading time. Nowadays, when I ask to my colleague when you are going to load, in the case without bone defects, most people say about 2 months. So I try to shorten 2 months to 1 month, 4 weeks in every case. So I asked to Dr. Macaulay in Lebanon. So he made many articles on this kind of loading protocol. And I asked, let's try 4-week loading in any case and make statistics. At the beginning, he hesitated. Oh, how about the 6 week, 2 week, 4 weeks is too short. But so we tried to convince him. And finally, he accepted. And this is the insertion torque value from his articles. And see, at the D1 bone, the numbers on the bottom is bone density. D1 bone, all the implants showed more than 100 Newton centimeter torque force. Even the D4 bone, more than 50, almost nearly 60 Newton centimeter torque force. In average, it was more than 80 Newton centimeter. This is really remarkable, right? Most tier 1 company recommended to place implants under 40 Newton centimeter. Why? It's because of implant design. If we use more than 40, sometimes more than 60 Newton centimeter force, it makes too much compressive force. Eventually, it makes necrosis, compressive necrosis. So we have associations. I had many cases, of course. But with this design of implants, no need to worry. Even more than 100 Newton centimeter, you don't have bone necrosis. Just you need to take care of the drilling. During implant placement, nothing to worry. This is ISQ value until 4th week. It's just a straight line. And then the result, all implants were functionally loaded in 4 weeks and presented 100% success. In 12 months, now it's approaching 2 years. I think more than 2 years, so no difference. Successful. Right? So now it's time to say, okay, we can load same to our patients. Okay, we can make prosthetics on your implants in a month, 4 weeks. So it's very short. No need to wait 8 months, 12 months, just like other implant systems. And another frequent question is about the bone ingrowth into this deep thread. Okay? The deepest thread depth shows more than 1.5 millimeter. in depth.
Yes.
So if you can calculate 1 millimeter ingrowth per month, it was shown in the articles. The bone can creep 1 millimeter a month. Well, how long it takes? It takes 1.5 years. So how we can ensure complete bone ingrowth to the base of the depths, the thread depths? But if you see the X-ray, intraoral X-rays, you can see the bone filling immediately, even immediately after surgery. How this happen? That it is different kind of concept. Eh? When we use the triangular, 60-degree triangular shaped implants, we engage only the tip of the thread into the bone, and we have a black space like this. And then with time, this is really bone ingrowth. We have a bone filling like this with time. But Enrich has a totally different concept. Bone is there, just near, very near to the body of the picture. And according to the bone density, when the bone is very dense, no need to engage too much. Just a small thread is enough. But with the different bone density, you can just stretch the thread into the bone.
Into the bone.
Into the bone. So the bone is here. So very limited space is remained as empty space. So this part can be filled very quickly. And the others just engaged with the fixture from the beginning. So no need to worry about the bone filling into deep threaded implants. So that's why from the surgical day, you can see this kind of X-rays, completely filled bone among the between the thread. So we had some animal studies, as you see. So in 4 weeks, so we had this biopsy slide, so completely filled. Of course, this is rabbit, not easy to believe. But fortunately, we had a very good slide from one of our colleagues in Italy, Francesco Mangano, had a chance to retrieve one implant from the patient. I don't know the reason, but anyway, patient wants to take it out after 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Then from this slide, you can see already all the fixture, all the space was filled with regenerated bone. Okay? This is human, and only SCM. Only one case, but this was good example to see how faster the osseointegration and the bone filling can be happen with Enrich implants. And the surface is very important, and SLA technology is good, but we could make it safer. With SLA treatments, there may be, in worst case, there may be some acid residue on the surface. We cannot verify if this is completely cleaned from acid or not. You cannot see it from with eyes, with naked eyes. Why we put the calcium ion is to verify there is no acid residue and is clean by combining calcium ion, which is 2 plus cation, and if there is acid residue on the surface, which is anion 2 minus, they bind it very easily, very quickly to make a salt.
Yes.
It's the basic chemistry.
Yeah.
And then in most case, the salt has a whitish color.
Mm-hmm.
So on the background of a blue color of calcium ion, the whitish spot can be seen very easily. So the calcium ion, why we added the calcium ion on top of SLA treatment is for safety.
Mm-hmm.
And in return, the calcium ion, some of calcium ion can be released during the osseointegration, so it can fasten osseointegration period.
Yeah.
That's why only in a month or some weeks, as you can have very good osseointegration slide.
Mm-hmm.
So safeness is the key for the XP surface treatments.
And cleaner.
Yes, clean and safe. Yeah. And another one I'd like to emphasize on the initial stability. Why initial stability is important? It's not only for the healed ridge. When we have a very limited vertical heights and the huge defects, extraction sockets, okay, we can use this advantage of excellent initial stability to shorten the treatment time. So on the left, there is a huge, very big size of socket. On the right, there is very limited height of available bone under the sinus. So in this case, stability is the key. And so I will show just one case of the huge size of the extraction socket. Okay, this case was made by the failed implants, and I allowed the 6 week for the healing, soft tissue healing. And on the surgical day, I saw there was only 2 millimeter of available bone under the sinus with very big sockets. So in this case, I had to utilize the remaining 2 millimeter for initial stability. So that's why I just made the trephinations through the sinus membrane. And the available height was exactly 2 millimeter, as you see on the right. So what I can do, I had to make a very good initial stability with this, from this 2 millimeter of available bone. Then I'm sure we can make it with the N-ridge implants. I placed 8 by 8.5, the biggest diameter of implants, and the first thread of N-ridge fixture was engaged with bone, but it provided more than 30 Newton centimeter torque force. Very good initial stability. That's enough for one stage approach, right? And the remaining bone defect became very small, just within jumping distance.
Yes.
So what I can do, what I can make it, what I can make easy. So by making good initial stability, I can do one stage approach. I can reduce one surgery, and then I can do bone augmentation very easily. You can put any kind of bone graft material into this case. Then with a small collagen membrane, one stage approach, finish. How long it took for surgery? Less than 10 minutes.
Exactly.
And yes, and then this is after surgery, and my expectation was 3 months for the bone peeling because it's within jumping distance, like a small healing of extraction socket. But this is, as you see, patients started to be treated in 4 months, and in 5 months finished. X-ray, you can see the X-ray, very, very good bone filling, right?
Yes.
This is 7 years after surgery. Even it has a very big socket and very limited height of bone, but there was almost 7 years later, can have bone overgrowth on the top of the implants and bone overgrowth even at the platform of the implants. This is a combination. This is from all the important feature of N-ridge. So I do immediate implant placement like this in almost all the cases. So only one surgery, and the result was fantastic. Okay, let's go a little bit faster for the maintenance. So we are not placing implants for some years of function, right? So whenever I discuss with my patients about the prognosis, I usually say, I'm marrying with you. So that means I will take care of your implants for a lifetime. So the most important part is connection and transgingival parts. As everybody knows, we have a difference on the anatomy between natural and the peri-implant tissues.
Yes.
This has the cementum and the parental ligaments, which can provide very good homeostasis. But we don't have these important organs around the implants. So we should prepare something for this. The first one is thickness of alveolar bone. The next one is thickness of gingiva. Blood supply is the key. So again, this part was designed for that. Okay. So from the X-ray, you can see like this. This is, of course, from buccal view.
Yes.
So it's not easy to see the bony change, from the buccal view like intraoral X-rays, but just for demonstration, illustration, you can easily understand how much bone we can have, how much soft tissue we can have.
Exactly.
And then, okay, I made the drawings,
Yes.
animations like this. See, so same dimensional valvular bone, and placed two different shape
Yes.
of implants with the different same diameter, same dimension, 4 millimeter, for example. See the difference. So how thick the bone, the gingiva is compared to others, and then how much bone. As I said, we can have 1 millimeter more bone on the buccal side. This is really exciting compared to other implant systems. I can say on the right side, this implant will show bone loss. Even we have micro thread for the space distribution, this cannot provide adequate amount of blood supply. So definitely the crystal bone will go down with the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's, many speakers and the authors emphasize this part. So ideal soft tissue, 3 millimeter, I don't think so. Ideal soft tissue around just the neck of the implants should be more than 4 millimeter. It's different numbers, but many researchers start to say 4 to 5 millimeter soft tissue is needed for the stabilization of soft implant tissue. How about bone? 1.8 millimeter. Is from Dr. Spray's statistics. Right? But when we try to make it, it should be much more, right? Because we are expecting some remodeling process. Yeah. So it should be much more. I agree with Dr. Grunder. It should be more than 2 millimeter or sometimes more than 4 millimeter. Yeah. More is better. Okay? So connection is important for the stability of prosthetics and the biological width. So this is typical angulations, connection angulations, 1.5 to 11 degree. But from our experiment, 5 degree was the perfect result. No screws. Really, really seamless connections. So from this cross-cut view on the right, you cannot say where is a connection line between abutment and the fixtures. So this happens. We regularly cut the fixture and abutments with finished products. It's a test like this. There's always, there is no gap.
Yes.
This is extremely important. Even on the function with the occlusal force, more than 35 Newton centimeter, there is no gap opening. This can minimize the biological width. The connection is really good. Okay? Even it has a 10 degree on both sides. It has much stronger connection force. Taking throughout pores. So, if it was connected, the abutment was connected properly with the picture, there will be no screw loosening, add nothing, and much less biological waste. And as a result, with our eyes, we can see this kind of beautiful soft tissues. There is no keratine tissue. There is some keratine tissue, but no attached gingiva. Yeah. So we emphasize the importance of attached gingiva, of course, especially when the muscle traction or the ligament tractions, we have to have attached gingiva. But in other case, when the vestibular depth is good enough, so we don't need to try to make a keratine tissue. Keratinized attached tissue. This is enough. Very beautiful soft tissue. This could be made with from these two, double offset and connection. Okay, this is the drawings of Enrich. So I really emphasize on this yellow parts. This is the key. actually the key. The underneath is not very important.
Yes, that
And
1 millimeter, that upper side is very important,
yes,
especially for
very.
the first year. So we don't
Mhm.
expect any bone loss at the first year.
Yes, yes. And digital technology. As Outgate is one of the very precise software on the market, but this is very affordable in price. But many people complain to me, this is too precise to use.
Hmm.
But we try to make it more accurate. But for this accuracy, okay, you need to click. You need to have more clicks. So I hope this can make your practice more prognostic and more easier
Yes,
and more fruitful.
exactly.
This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much. So let me reclaim host.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm now again host. So you can end your share screen.
I did. Okay. No, not yet.
I'm host.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Fantastic.
Mhm.
Oh, Muge is connecting. Muge Durgin.
Oh, really?
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Park. Very
Thank you.
fascinating. You know that I love Reach for many years.
Thank
I
you.
think I am one of the first one who plays Reach.
Yes.
Yeah, I think 2010, 2011. Yes.
Mm, mm.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you for the last part of our conversation or talk about your book.
Mm.
Uh, this is very nice book. I thank you so much. You send it to me in English, and I want to translate into Persian to Farsi. Yeah, yeah. I asked one of my friends, two of my friends, to assist me on this. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very nice to do that. And regarding your book, I mentioned before that is for inspiring young people to follow their hearts about dentistry.
Mhm.
And when you talk about these things, and especially, let me ask you, how many years you are in the implant dentistry? Uh,
Mm.
how many years you are in implant dentistry? Let me know,
Uh,
and I ask my question.
I attended my first implant lecture
Hmm.
in 1988, and
Oh,
I placed my first implants in 1990, January 1990.
so it's been 30 years?
Yes, about
Yes. Oh,
yes.
okay, Doctor. You put all of your passion about implant dentistry in your book. But if you want to say a short story, for example, in 2 or 3 lines, 5 lines, a story about this 30 years of implant dentistry life or something that you want to inspire or share to someone, what will you say about these 30 years?
Mm, so many people say and think I am a billionaire by doing business and by operating a huge dental clinics.
Uh-huh.
But always my focus was patient,
Mhm.
and I felt many limitations on my ability as a periodontist. I really tried to save the natural teeth. That was my first aim, and whenever I had the obstacles and the limitations,
Mhm.
I I reviewed all the textbooks and the journals how to overcome. Uh, I was quite angry on the what is it? Contraindications.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try. As many the senior professors wrote, this is contraindicated.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the case. Well, why? We should be able to do everything to recover the patient's function and athletics. So I tried many stupid things to prove this is not contraindicated. Some worked. It was not completely contraindicated. I could make more details contraindication and partially successful indications. And as a result, just there was limitations to save a natural tooth. What was the alternative? That was implants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I first tried the implants, as you know, Marjorie and I are almost the same age, so we know almost the same knowledge
Yes.
behind. So there was many limitations, especially bone regeneration and the soft tissue management. So the company, when I attended the lecture, company always emphasized the excellency of their implants only, mainly.
Mm-hmm.
It was also disappointed. So of course I used their advantages, but I had I thought again and again how we can recover this the patient's gum and hard tissue and make a crown. So as a periodontist, I had so many lectures on the soft tissue management and hard tissue management. I think I tried almost all kind of membrane, almost all kind of bone regenerations, including iliac bone graft. Nothing was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So during this, I could do something a little bit better than just the GPs because I have more experience. Whenever when I attended a lecture as a speaker,
Uh-huh.
the attendants gave me a big applause. Okay, very good presentation. But on the way back, they said that they talked with their friends. Okay, this is only for Dr. Park. I will not try the techniques. So it is meaning miss. Why I present I wanted to share my knowledge and the experience with them for them. This is for them to try.
Yes.
But I was very disappointed and I started to rethink. Okay, why I will give up these parts.
Mm-hmm.
My presentation, my speech should be able to make them to try.
Mm-hmm.
So should be easy, should be economical, and
Practical.
more practical.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about 10 years ago. So from that time, I don't show any aggressive cases.
Yeah,
There
I agree.
is
Same as me. It's very nice. Same as
Yeah.
me. Because I designed this implant diary. Sorry to stop you.
Mhm.
I started Implant Diary because of that concept about methods and techniques are secondary. Concept and visions are primary and paramount. These are most important one. The
Yes.
concept behind these techniques, because
Yes.
you can watch or find many techniques out there, so many webinars, so many websites about techniques, but there are lack of concept behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the GPs or general dentists should know about the concepts more than techniques. Then
Mm-hmm.
they can choose which techniques based on that design, based on that concept. They can choose which technique they can use it for their patients. The concept
Exactly.
is very more important.
Exactly.
Sorry
Yes.
to stop you.
Very good.
Yes, I'm
Very
listening.
good. Yeah, you told me I'm humble,
Hmm.
but I'm not humble intentionally. because it's because I'm not perfect. Still I'm learning. Even I have a little bit more technical techniques. This can be a lie in the future. So
That is humble.
how how I can sure this is perfect and this is the final techniques we can use. So I'm also in the learning process. Just in the during this period, I can do my best and share, and not only sharing,
Mhm.
I can have a lot of feedbacks. Then I can think next steps.
Great.
Yeah.
That is very important.
Very exciting. Thank you very much. Just like you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Park.
Thank you.
And it was delight for me to this talk very friendly and very nicely. We had presentation, very nice presentation. We had very nice talk. We talked about your book, your passion. It was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Stay
Uh,
healthy.
our participants, there is no question. Just they thanked you. Yes, fantastic lecture. Thank you, Dr. Park. Thank you so much. All of them, thank you. Yes. No questions? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
a
you.
delight for me to be with you. Have a good during Seoul is day. Have a good day. Yes.
Yes. This is Sunday.
Yeah. Have a good day. Okay.
Okay.
Say
Nice
hi.
weekend.
Say hi.
Okay.
Stay safe. Take care. Bye.
Okay. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.